I also think that cheating is such a weird word to me in sports, right?
Yeah.
It's such a weird word to me in sports because I also think that when it comes to, I mean, man, I think about what do they say in NASCAR all the time? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Rubbing is racing, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And then in baseball, we talk stealing signs is a age old.
Yeah.
It's as much a part of the freaking game as freaking sunflower seeds, big league chew, whatever. It's all the same. It's always been a part of it, right?
Well, Jason, why for years have you seen the coaches with their game plan covering their mouth? Because you've even had people that have lip readers, you know, uh, and so it's not like it's something just way out there that hadn't been done before.
He was right on the money, man. He was holding Sark to task, and the way that they were doing things to task and calling it like it was is the fact is, look, we'll get into Texas and Washington in a minute. Let's start off with Alabama and Michigan, though. Coach, good football game.
Great football game.
Hey, that was a Rose Bowl right there, right? It was a Rose Bowl like you're used to seeing from back in the day.
Yeah.
Line it up, and let's have a fist fight.
And it was from start to finish. Great ball game. I think everybody enjoyed it. I don't care what side of the ball you were on. Now I know that at the end of the day, the Tide ended up on the short end of the stick. But I tell you what, I thought they both were very prepared to play against the other. Both did a super job. I don't know. I'll throw in a little punch here, but I don't know if Michigan had all the signals they needed or not, but they seem to have had them. But again, I think you had two, and it hurts me to say this because I'm not a Michigan fan. Obviously, being a Notre Dame fan, it hurts me to say this, but I think you had two of the best coaches in college football today. Coaching their teams to a great football game, and the trenches was where it was happening, guys. And at the end of the day, it came down to that number 2 defense in the country with Michigan, and they pulled it out. And I often wear out Tommy Rees about his play calling while he was at Notre Dame, and y'all know early on I said, he's going to kill you guys. And when the last play was run by Alabama, I said that's vintage Rees. But I went back, I corrected myself after watching an end zone copy of the play.
Right.
And the way the play was designed and supposed to be run, if the ball's not snapped over to the right and they don't miss a block, the play design would have been successful. And the quarterback, Milroe, was supposed to turn that thing back to the left. And I can promise you, if you guys watch the end zone shot of that, you'll say, "Oh my God!"
Well, yeah, that was the weak side of the field by that time, right? It was on the weak side. He would have walked in probably.
Well, and then they put motion across to take the linebacker with them, and he did. So the play was there. I mean, and it was their traditional, what they had set up for a 2-point play after a touchdown. Okay, and it was there, guys. It was there. But all I can say is two great football teams got after each other on both sides of the ball, and I couldn't ask for a better ball game.
Yeah, man, I like it, and I think a lot of people have to give. I think there's a group of folks that are gonna have to probably eat a little bit of crow today and throughout. I mean, Ohio State's probably, just beside themselves right now. Ohio State fans have got to be about ready to just croak over on one because all the shit that everybody's been throwing out there about the cheating and everything else. And look, man, we've talked about it about as much as I can too. I don't care about it. I think if you're not doing a better job of changing your signals, then it's your own fucking problem. It's just, and I also think that if they was really a problem or something that the NCAA or any of them were caring about, you would just have, microphones in the helmet to where you couldn't do it, flat out.
Right.
Just you have the technology, makes it to where it can't happen.
And that's what needs to happen. Absolutely, look, Jason.
I also think that cheating is such a weird word to me in sports, right?
Yeah.
It's such a weird word to me in sports because I also think that when it comes to, I think about what do they say in NASCAR all the time? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Rubbing is racing, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And then in baseball, we talk stealing signs is a age old. It's as much a part of the freaking game as freaking sunflower seeds, big league chew, whatever. It's all the same. It's always been a part of it, right?
Well, Jason, why for years have you seen the coaches with their game plan covering their mouth? Because you've even had people that have lip readers, and so it's not like it's something just way out there that hadn't been done before. And we don't even want to talk about that really because I know we can beat that dead horse to death again because other people are doing it. But
the point I'm trying to make for all of the shit that was being talked about with that stuff, now that we all know that they don't have their signals anymore because it's been taken apart. Harbaugh did his 3 games. He actually missed 6 games out of freaking 13 this year because of suspensions for one reason or another. And all they do is keep kicking everybody's ass.
That's it.
They line up and run your ass over. They had a hell of a game plan. Look, did they? Yeah, I think Hank said it earlier. There was a point in the third quarter that they almost blew it.
Right.
And you could say whatever you want about this Alabama team. I think that this Alabama team, is it one of Nick's greats? No, it's not. But they weren't bad. And they beat an all-time great Georgia school that had won freaking 29 games in a row.
Well, I tell you what Alabama did, and Nick Saban does this. They don't start off great. I don't care if even his great teams don't start off great.
Yeah.
But at the end of the season, they're clicking on all cylinders. And that's one thing that you see great football teams do is when it gets to be conference time and the playoffs, they're playing at the top of their game. So he's an incredible coach.
I think he's done a hell of a job, and you've seen him do it everywhere. He hadn't finished the job ever yet, Right. They were really good when he started off at USD, and then he was really good at Stanford. Then he gets the job with the Niners, goes to the Super Bowl, and what, 3 in a row NFC Championship games. He grates on people. There's no 2 ways around it. He grates on people. But I'll tell you, this guy is the real deal when it comes to coaching. And there's, you can say whatever you want, and look. Again, cheating to me is kind of I don't know that I care about it. I'm one of those guys that I enjoyed baseball on steroids. Sorry, I did. I like home runs a lot more than I like a bunch of strikeouts. I just do. But that being said, I will say that, it kind of is what it is. In the end, bottom line is you had a chance to prove. In fact, you've had a chance to prove it for weeks now that it was only because they were stealing signs. The truth of the matter is they got a really good football team.
Yep.
They run the shit out of the ball. Blake Corum, bro.
Yeah. Whoa.
Bro, that freaking touchdown run in the overtime was something, right?
Yeah.
For you,
Yeah.
and that counter move, whoa, the way that that jump cut and he jumped backwards, and it was like they shot his ass out of a cannon after that.
Cannon, yeah. I agree.
Holy shit.
Well, and again, guys, look at those teams and something we just touched on briefly earlier. But great talent, but their backups are incredible as well.
Yeah, they are. And that's
depth.
We're going to get into some depth stuff here in just a bit. But again, I think that this was a hell of a game. It was, I don't know that I was rooting for one team or the other. I don't care about either one of them. But I enjoyed seeing the good game, and it was a hell of a game.